What up, cucks? It's your boy, the hater, and I wanted to do a video on just the concept of charisma alone. And I'm going to use several great examples, so stay tuned, fuckers. Number one, charisma is the most important thing in not just wrestling, but in all entertainment. You can look at someone like Craig Ferguson, who is decently funny, but he's very charismatic and very charming, right? And he's able to have a successful show. You can look at someone like Conan O'Brien, who is also charismatic, but also hilarious, and he's going to have more success. So charisma is not only the thing that is needed in entertainment, but it is the most important thing by a mile, right? By a mile. Now, charisma is something that cannot be purely defined, right? It is a certain magnetism. So while I think, for example, CM Punk has no charisma, right? People have been led astray and told that he does, and they believe it. So we gotta give that some credit. So just to give it some context here, cucks. Now we have people like Montez Ford, who are not charismatic, and he just acts like an idiot, and people laugh, and they're like, oh, that's funny. But he's not compelling, he's not captivating, right? That, you know how you know this? When was the last time he ever cut a promo, right? The entire shtick of the Street Profits has always been come out there and party and dance and act like idiots, right? That's it. They don't say anything, right? They're just there to dance, sing, and wrestle. Good for them. They're like the New Day. The New Day also doesn't cut many promos, but at least the New Day would cut an occasional promo. They were all cringe because the New Day is a bunch of dorks, right? But nevertheless, there's some charisma there. Then you look at people, right, who are given no material, and they make do with what they got, right? In my opinion, the best example, of course, is The Miz, who is slowly but surely climbing up the ranks into my personal top 10. I cannot explain how much I appreciate and like The Miz, right? In my opinion, the fact that The Miz is not a main eventer is ridiculous. We have people like Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins in the main event, while The Miz is in the, generously, I'll say the mid-card, more like the undercard, right? Think about the injustice of that is, right? Now, in my opinion, in the relatively modern era, there is no wrestler that captures the concept of charisma more than the subject matter of this video. Enzo Amore, how you doing, right? Now, Enzo Amore, in my opinion, is a missed opportunity. Enzo Amore was never going to be WWE champion because Enzo Amore was never going to go and beat Brock Lesnar. That's just silly, right? But Enzo Amore could have had some fun and significant, moments. Like, he could have been like a Santino Marella, but more serious, like more capable, rather, right? Santino Marella is like purely a comedy character, but Enzo Amore could be someone that like flips the switch and goes serious and can beat up like a Johnny Gargano or like a Tommaso Ciampa or something like that. It's not inconceivable, right? It's like, it reminds me of that time when like him and Joey Janela had this like altercation at some sports game. People were like, Enzo's lucky Joey Janela didn't beat his ass because Joey Janela just like signed with AEW. And then I was like, who the hell's Joey Janela? Like, he must be like a tough looking dude. Joey Janela's like 5'7" and skinny fat. Enzo Amore's like 6'2" and muscular, right? And I'm like, what? Enzo Amore would wipe the floor with this retard, right? It's not even close. But anyways, I digress. The point is, you look at Enzo Amore, and he has pure charisma. He was hired basically only because he's charismatic, right? And look at how over he got in like 2 weeks, right? First of all, he got himself over in NXT. And when he got injured in NXT, I was like, man, like I miss this guy. This guy's entertaining, right? Where is he at? Him and Cass. Cass is not as charismatic, but he's decently charismatic. People are like, Big Cass can't talk. He can talk better than Drew McIntyre. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that there, like what does Lashley have in terms of the ability to cut a promo? No, Big Cass can talk just fine for a big guy. He's not there for his charisma, but he has good one-liners, and he did his job well, right? He's like a Billy Gunn. He's obviously the Billy Gunn of that tag team, right? But he can still talk. Billy Gunn is a better talker than fucking, I don't know, than Anthony Ogogo from AEW. He's a better talker than fucking, Konosuke Takeshita. Yeah, of course he is. He's a better, like, perfect example. Like, Big Bill, Big Cass is a better talker than Sammy Guevara, right? That's a great example. He's better on the mic than Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara has nothing special on the mic. He's better than him, though, at least, right? So it's like, he's also bigger and stronger, so, there you go, right? But Enzo Amore is the man of the hour here in this video, right? Enzo Amore, his career was cut short by allegations of sexual misconduct or sexual harassment, or actually I think it was allegations of rape, right? But it turned out that those are unlikely to be true because there was an investigation and it found nothing, right? WWE fired him because like he didn't like tell them that he was in trouble, which is a silly thing to fire someone over, but it is what it is. They're a publicly traded company. So the point is, Enzo Amore, if you weren't fired, in my opinion, the sky would be the limit, right? Because he understood what wrestling was. You have jobbers that are never going to make it, like Simon Gotch, who hates him. And I remember I saw an interview with Simon Gotch, and he was like, Enzo was telling Simon Gotch, I have a whole notebook full of promos. Simon Gotch was like, you do? He's like, you have to like write it down? I just think of the promos up. What promos? What promo has Simon Gotch ever been trusted to cut? Right? I'm not talking about when he was wrestling in front of 15 people. I'm talking about when he came to WWE. Who asked him, hey, do you have a promo that you can cut? He's like, yeah, I do. Let me show you. They're like, yeah, it's not going to happen. We're going to make you dress as a vaudevillain, put you in a tag team called the Vaudevillains, and you're going to be jobbers. That's your career, kid. You know what I'm saying? Enzo Amore, on the other hand, because, and this is like what really bothered me. Simon Gotch in this interview was like, Enzo Amore writes this material down. What do you mean? That's called being prepared. You know, I understand. Obviously, it'd be better if Enzo Amore could go out and just shoot that out of his mouth ad libid the whole time, right? But he can't. That'd be very difficult. So he writes it down, right? I don't know if you guys know anything about freestyle rap, but a lot of people don't realize that freestyle rap is not freestyle. In fact, most of the time, it's not freestyle at all. They prepare for days and weeks in advance for the battle. They know the battle is coming. They know who they're going to be battling against. They research that guy, and they have notebooks and other ways to write down rhymes, right? I've known several freestyle rappers, and they all do this. Nobody's out there being like, give me a beat, yo, and then they just go off the head. That doesn't happen. That's not how it works, cuck. You know? But anyways, the point is, you have to prepare for when you speak. Now, some people are good, like the hater. You know, I didn't prepare for this, right? But this is not at the level of an Enzo Amore promo, right? Absolutely not. Enzo Amore is prepared, so he does a great job. Other people like Simon Gotch don't understand this because they still think that wrestling is about wrist locks, right? And then they're surprised, like, oh my God, why did Enzo Amore get pushed above me, right? Nothing was captured this better than the entire Enzo Amore Cruiserweight run, which I thought was fantastic from top to bottom. The entire point was this. Adrian Neville, also known as Pac, was the king of the cruiserweights. He had like a Game of Thrones things going where he would like be all mysterious and he'd have like a coat and shit like that. It was weird, right? And the long hair like covering his face. And then Enzo Amore comes by and beats him clean, right? And people are like, I can't believe WWE did this. I can't believe they had Enzo beat a real wrestler named Pac. Pac should have won. And people were like, isn't it Adrian Neville? Because he's Pac to me, damn it. But the truth was that nobody gives a shit about Adrian Neville. Nobody gives a shit about Ari Daivari or Jack Gallagher or any of those jobbers. Nobody cares at all because they're all boring, right? Nobody cares about the Cruiserweight division. Nobody cared about 205 Live because nobody there had any personality or charisma. You had people like Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, right? I'm the soul. I'm the heart. How about you're the asses? You're the asses of 205 Live. Enzo Amore is the soul and the heart of 205 Live because he's there drawing eyeballs and entertaining people, right? You don't need Pac to wrestle another Pac to have a good match. You can have Pac wrestle Enzo Amore, right? They always say, oh, Dean Malenko could put on a good match with a broom. Great! Then, since Dean Malenko has no charisma, find a broom that has a lot more charisma, aka every broom ever made. Right? And then have him wrestle the broom. He can do the in-ring stuff, and the broom can put them over and get them some TV time. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people can do what Dean Malenko can do in WWE. Every cruiserweight in 205 Live could wrestle, right? All of them were athletic enough. They all had pretty decent moves. Some of them, like TJP, were already like big-time veterans. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter, cucks. Nobody cares about any of that because it's never about that, right? It's about the charisma. And the fact is this. The entire storyline of the Cruiserweight workhorses being like, this guy just walks in here and he didn't earn his keep. That's right. He didn't earn his keep. He did. He just didn't earn it the way that you earned it. He earned it by writing promos down when you think you can ad-lib them, Simon Gotch and friends. Right? He earned it in a different way. He goes to the gym to look like he's muscular. He dresses in an interesting way to show off some flair, right? And he's charismatic and good on the microphone. That's all that matters. Now, if you have those attributes, like let's say Christian Cage or to a certain degree even Edge, Cena, of course, Ric Flair is a great example. If you have the charisma and then you also are good in the ring, that's a huge bonus. But when nobody has charisma and everyone's quote unquote good in the ring and you have charisma and you're not good in the ring, you are the winner because charisma is going to trump it every time, right? Now, there are times when people don't want to give people their due, right? Of course. It would be ridiculous to say that everyone that's charismatic has gotten pushed because that's just not true. Like Bubba Ray Dudley is charismatic and he never got pushed. He was always charismatic. He never got pushed, right? They pushed other people instead, like Lashley, right? Like Bubba Ray Dudley is better than Lashley in terms of charisma. In the ring, I would say Lashley's better, but I think overall Bubba Ray is a better wrestler, but that's not here or there. There are examples, right? The Miz is a great contemporary example. I mean, he had his shot, but like he's better than where he's at, right? And, with that being said, that's all I got to say about that. Charisma number 1, everything else number 2.